We lived in a 2-bedroom farmhouse, kind of in the middle of nowhere. Both of our kids are cardiac patients and Christopher's disabled, so that leaves me to work. And with that, where we lived, there was no unemployment unless you are a school teacher or a farmer. So the county that we lived in, we weren't able to find employment to stay there.
So when we look at census data and whatnot, we're able to discern that the housing wage is somewhere around $14 to $15 an hour. You look at minimum wage, that doesn't work.
When I started doing this work about 10 years ago, the primary reason that families were homeless was unemployment. Now I can say we've made little progress in about 10 years and that the real reason is underemployment.
I see so many people buying their dream homes. They come down with some type of unknown illness and they can't sustain their home. They lose their home and they end up just desolate.
I know that there's plenty of service individuals in the city who feel as though they don't have a place to live. There are single parents who can't afford, to find places close to either a bus route, or schools.
There was just no one out there. There was nothing, and just felt like we were drowning.
I lost my job 4 months before December because of his disabilities and the children being developmentally and motor skills behind. I have to be there to physically help address things in the house or help get them dressed. And we knew going into somewhere where they would split us, he wouldn't be able to do everything that needed to be done.
The Family Promise of Wake County is a nonprofit organization that works with families experiencing homelessness. We pride ourselves in two things. The first one being that we can keep the whole family together, that we don't separate men from women and children or adolescent males from their parents like other local shelters do. And the second thing that we pride ourselves in is that we have a whole continuum of services and programs to help families exit homelessness. So we truly can take the families from homelessness to permanent housing. And then we also offer aftercare services where we'll follow the families for another year to make sure that once they've obtained housing, they remain in housing.
This year we are partnering with about 12 nonprofits in the community, and those nonprofits are really geared towards providing stable housing and healthy living options for neighbors in need. So the foundation, our role is to really come in and kind of be like the missing piece of the puzzle.
When you get realtors together, you have a group that wants to improve their community and to solve problems and to make it better if it's already in a great place. Realtors don't just sell houses, they sell communities, and they live and work in those communities. So they want communities that are healthy and vibrant and thriving.
The partnership that we have is enabling the family to really have a place that they can call home. The comforts of home that a lot of people take for granted.
Yeah, it allows the families to focus on the things that they need to obtain permanent housing. They don't have to worry about furniture, they don't have to worry about linens, they don't have to worry about any of that regular household stuff. They can really just focus on whatever is hindering them from obtaining permanent housing.
Our previous home wasn't in the best condition, and unfortunately we've lived with a lot of landlords that didn't take care of the property.
We re-inspected it and it was fine.
Everything was over here. You don't have to worry about that. They really take care of everything.
I've been thinking about buying a home forever. Actually, when I was raising my 3 children as a single mom, I was trying to go back to school. So I kind of put the home ownership on the back burner to go for my degree because I thought that would kind of be the better route. I figured if I went and bought a home at that time, I would have probably ended up in a dead-end job trying to pay for the house. And, you know, so I kind of had to think that through.
We in High Point have been working at multiple levels to help get more affordable housing in the community. We had a Fair Housing Action Plan, and our Fair Housing Plan said that you have too much concentration of poverty in the core city. You need to diversify the incomes, you need to attract younger families, households, into the core.
I went on my journey with my realtor. I did the whole bells and whistles, looking at homes, and oh my, that was a process. I kind of had to understand how people want what they put into their home. They kind of want it back and overprice it and things of that nature.
So one of the things that we proposed to our council and they approved was for us to establish a core city homebuyer incentive program.
Money that does not have to be repaid, that helps you get into the program, you know, go towards your down payment. So that in and of itself is just wonderful.
Really, with the core city program, it brought in a lot of realtors that we had not worked with previously. So that's been good. That's been good. It's been good for everybody. So it kind of raises the issue of what we're trying to accomplish.
If you've ever known anybody who's lived out on the streets, especially for a long period of time, rest is just something that's really elusive. You're having to fight to get everywhere. You're having to fight to get services and basic needs that most of us take for granted. So the committee's purpose is to utilize the membership of the Realtors to advance affordable housing initiatives within the community and to leverage our voice as a group to have an impact. And so the Affordable Housing Committee has quite a few projects going on. It's a very engaged, very well-educated group of people.
The Affordable Housing Committee, I met a fellow, Ryan McCullough, who started a foundation called REACH. And REACH is an acronym for Real Estate Agents Combating Homelessness. So REACH is under the umbrella, so to speak, of Homeward Bound, Western North Carolina. And Homeward Bound is a nonprofit agency that works to put people who are chronically homeless, so living on the streets, homeless for a year or more, into permanent housing. And not only do they get housing, but they get support. And because of that, 89% of our participants stay in housing. They don't go back to homelessness.
We're looking to build a partnership with container units. And the beauty of the container units is that they're green, they're incredibly affordable, they're modifiable, they're stackable, they've got a lot of flexibility, and they can satisfy this initiative on numerous fronts. Being able to potentially turn those units out quickly, and then also really kind of satisfying a much needed item for the area.
We're working with Room in the Inn, which is a program that provides shelter for a week at a time, shelter, food, transportation to and from their day center where they get some other services provided. And we're actually hosting that again this year in our association offices. We set up a cozy environment. We're hosting this at Christmas this year again, which is kind of exciting. It's my favorite time of year, so I get a little nerdy about it. And we have a Christmas tree and we have garlands strung, and our sole purpose is to provide them a place to rest.
We decided our centennial year would be the perfect year to get back in the groove and do another Habitat house. So we got with Habitat, chose a lot, they put in the foundation, and then groups went as firms would sign up as their whole firm, and they'd go for a day, half a day, or whatever. And Once the floor got in, we had a certain day chosen for the wall raising. So we built one giant big wall the length of the house, and all the realtors came, and we all lined up and raised up that big wall, and we had hammers and we nailed it down, finished the house, had a big ribbon cutting at the end, and we're proud of the house that we helped sponsor build for a family for Habitat for Humanity.
Well, this is actually my third wall build, because I've helped 2 other families with their wall build, and gone to the construction sites and, you know, helped with doing their houses. So this one is mine. So I'm excited about it.
Forsyth County has about 14% low-income families. When we talk about low-income families, we're talking about the average median income being 50% or below. So in this area, it's those families who make $40,000 a year or less. In the next 5 years, it's projected to show approximately 8,000 units that won't be available for low-income rental or low-income single-family housing.
I've been in the apartment that I'm in now for 10 years. But for the last 4 months, I've been having some water issues, flooding and fire from other neighbors, and currently my tub is running, and having to wait for somebody to come out and fix that. So
Habitat for Humanity has adopted the whole neighborhood vision. When Habitat started, it was changing lives one family at a time and working on homes on different streets. But as we began to do that, we began to see a greater need. So all of the Habitats embrace the opportunity of serving more families and serving more people by doing the repairs and doing the programs. The realtor community in Forsyth County is very generous to Habitat for Humanity. They work with us when they find homes that might be potential habitat opportunities, something that is better being provided to a nonprofit than it is going out on the open market. The other piece is that they're constantly fundraising for us. This past weekend we had the Hammerbird Run. Last year there were almost 100 realtors running in the Hammerbird Run, because they have provided volunteers to work on the job site. When we can get the Realtors Association together and the Home Builders Association together, we do amazing things here in Forsyth County.
they teach you plumbing and landscape. They teach you banking, how to manage your money, how to budget, how to save. Everybody here is friendly, caring. Just, it's another family, another family.
All the old adages of, you know, home sweet home, home is where the heart is. All of those things, everyone needs that.
And finding affordable housing is very difficult as we've started to look.
There's a gap between what people can afford and what the marketplace offers.
Some of the apartments we've looked at are $1,200 a month. Some people don't even make that a month.
We're looking for that foothold, the place where we can dig in and really make a difference in the community long term.
We're coming up on celebrating our 25th anniversary, and we've served over 1,400 families to date.
Can we see, how do we measure that we've moved the needle?
In the last 31 years that we've been here, we've had over 800 children grow up in Habitat homes. 500 of those children are eligible or have graduated from high school.
We hope to have a home of our own. We don't want to buy or anything like that, but we hope to be stable enough to stay into a house for more than 3 or 4 years, something that our kids can grow up in and call home.
Just being able to have something on my own, and, you know, it is exciting.
If we're successful with this, other cities could perhaps learn from our experience and then use that as an example.
I have a 6-year-old. I don't think she comprehends, you know, having your own property. I'll say, this is our house. And she'll say, this is our house?
Both my sons, for sure, have shown a lot more positivity They seem a lot more happy due to the stability. I myself, I feel a lot more confident, and I feel like, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I feel like there's a lot of hope. There's people that care.
The one thing I can say is realtors show up, and they show up big. When you put out a call to action for help, they are lining up